Money isn't everything until it is. Money isn't everything until you don't have any. Y'all, I'm here just going to keep it real this morning. Money isn't everything until you've experienced a natural disaster like a tornado, a hurricane, or that flood that we had a while back. You may not realize it, but those people were displaced. They didn't have anywhere to go. They needed money right then. Sometimes your ATM machines and all of that stuff don't work. But one of the biggest expenses that people don't realize is their deductible for natural disasters. Like a hurricane down here in Florida, it could be 2, 3, 5% of the value of your home. So if you got wiped out, you would have to come up with, $12,000, $15,000, $20,000 just for insurance purposes. And that doesn't even count the fact that it takes a long time for those insurances to pay out, and so you are displaced. Money isn't everything until your fridge goes out and you don't have another payday for a couple of days or a week. Money isn't everything until you experience an unexpected job loss and you don't have 3, 6, 12 months for an emergency fund to carry your family through. Money isn't everything until you experience the death of a spouse or an unexpected divorce and they clean you out your bank account. Money isn't everything until you have some type of large unexpected expense, maybe a vet bill, maybe a medical emergency, an unexpected illness where you have to go and stay at the hospital or stay at a hotel or something out of town or out of state. Money isn't everything, but tell that to the single mom who's struggling and the night before her kid needs something for school he forgot to tell her, and tomorrow he needs a suit for a band concert. Yeah, money isn't everything, y'all, until it is. I love this saying, and I used to laugh about it all the time, and now it kind of hits me right there. But money isn't everything, but it sure makes being miserable a whole lot more tolerable. I agree. I've been broke, and I've had money, and having money is a whole lot better. But over the years, I've learned that money isn't everything until you don't have any. Then it becomes everything. I can remember when Rob and I first got married, the stress of having to scrape up 94 cents for a can of Infamil and 97 cents sometimes, and then $10 a week for a bag of Huggies. I would be so thrilled when I'd get those coupons in the mail for a few bucks off of those Huggy diapers. I believe we were making like $3.35 an hour. And this was before the welfare benefits and all of that stuff came along, so we was getting zero assistance. Our rent was like $100 a month. And y'all, that was hard to come up with. I mean, hard to come up with. And so I want you to think about something in a little bit different perspective today. A lot of y'all think when people are talking about they want to be wealthy, they want to make a lot of money, you think that that's all coming from a place of being selfish. Money just amplifies what you already are. If you have a good heart, you're going to be more philanthropic. You're going to do more things for others. But if you're a bad person, then that's going to amplify that. But what if your desire to build wealth wasn't selfish, but it could be the most powerful way for you to make a positive impact that you've ever had? What would you do if money was no object? What would you do? Who would you help? What would you do in your community? When you've got the resources, you've got the ability to fund local causes. You could help out a family in crisis. Maybe you could empower somebody to start their own business. That's what real philanthropy looks like. And everyday people around the globe are making a huge impact because they have chosen to become more financially fit and grow their wealth so that they can make a positive impact in the lives of others. Last week I asked a group of people, one of my tribes, what would you do if money was no object? What are some things that you can think about that you could do that would make an impact? And I want to share a couple of those with you today. If you've got ideas and things that you know that other people have done or that you've done, please feel free to drop that in the chat because I'd love to hear your ideas. Here's one. Imagine being able to buy a single mom a car or pay to have hers fixed just so she can get back and forth to work because hers broke down. Imagine being able to take a family whose house just burnt down, shopping for clothes, and buying them all a brand new wardrobe. That takes cash. Imagine being able to sponsor some kids to go to church camp one year and later find out that one of the kids you sponsored went on to become a pastor who had touched countless of lives all over the world. Imagine being able to cover the cost of a life-saving medical procedure or a prosthetic limb for somebody who couldn't afford it, giving them a second chance at a full and active life. Imagine being able to pay off a student's college tuition so that they could graduate debt-free, allowing them to start their career without a crushing financial burden. Love these. Imagine being able to provide a microloan to a struggling local business owner, helping them keep their doors open and their employees paid to preserve a pillar in the community. Imagine being able to fund a community food pantry for a day, a week, a month, or a year, ensuring that hundreds of families had access to nutritious meals and didn't have to worry about where their next meal was coming from. Imagine being able to sponsor a team to help build a new local park, restoring a beautiful natural space for everybody in the community to enjoy. Habitat for Humanity. Help build a home. You can volunteer your time, treasure, or resources for that, and I did that a few years ago and absolutely loved that. But imagine giving the gift, and y'all, you may not realize it, but they have to pay for those homes. It just helps them get into it more affordably. Gives them options that they might not otherwise have. Imagine being able to cover the cost of therapy for somebody struggling with addiction issues, giving them the support they need to heal and find hope. Many, many families that I hear about today are struggling with some type of mental or addiction issue. Just imagine being able to support those causes to help take care of that. Imagine being able to provide a home for a family by helping with their down payment, giving them the security and stability to build a future and a place to call their own. One of the ideas that I have loved, that I have heard about, is family members having their money, like grandma and grandpa or something like that, and they had money in a CD, and they wasn't making very much. So they opted to let their children or grandchildren borrow that money and for a mortgage. And so instead of paying the bank and having to qualify, they would let their children pay them. So essentially they became the bank. But you can't do that if you don't have the cash available to do that. But I thought, man, that's powerful. You could set up your family as a bank and do that for all your kids and your grandkids. Next, being able to send a team of skilled workers to a remote village to help build sorry about that. Providing access to a basic necessity that will save lives for generations. I know a lot of people go overseas and do a lot of charity work over there to help people. Imagine being able to sponsor a local artist or a community theater production, enriching the culture of your town and helping somebody's passion come to life. If you're like me, y'all, you got a heart for helping others and you want to make a positive impact with your life, but that's going to take some serious cash. You know, I guarantee you somewhere inside you, you've got some big dream and something that God has placed inside your heart that you could do if you had the resources. I invite you to join me to learn how this brand new tribe that I'm building, what we're going to be doing, how we're going to be making an impact. We're collaborating together so that we can make an impact around the globe. Now, I'm going to be dropping some videos over the next couple of days. I'm so excited because I shared with you yesterday how I finally figured out how I could solve my biggest financial problem ever. And the same thing can help you guys as well. So I'm going to be unveiling that, rolling that out online. But everybody here on my social media, you're finding out about it first. I am going to be having a free webinar for you to learn more information. So if you'd like to learn more about that or anything, you can drop me a DM or type hashtag show me the money in the comments, and I will give you an invitation so that you can join us on that live webinar. Again, if you didn't listen to my backstory and hear what it is that we're doing, I encourage you to go back on my live video yesterday. It should be listed as video 1, and listen to see about the exciting things that we're going to be doing over the next 24 months. My name is Nancy Gaskins, sowing seeds of hope and financial opportunity in communities around the globe. I hope y'all have a wonderful day because it looks like another stellar day in paradise. Y'all take care.